Welcome back everyone to another tutorial, and Happy New Year's. Chinese New Year is the year of the rabbit, so today we're going to be drawing a cute little rabbit. So let's get started. Let's make our canvas, hit the little plus icon right here, and we're going to do the canvas that I set up here for Instagram, which is 1080 by 1080 square. And there we go. In the description in the video, you'll find the download that you can download all of the things that you will need for this project. Included are 2 sketches, the color palette that I use, and also the brushes that I use for this. So quite a bit of stuff to get you started. It is set up as a free download, but it also has the availability where you can put in any amount that you'd like. So if you'd feel like tossing a few dollars to the channel to help me keep doing these free tutorials for you, I'd highly appreciate it. And some people have done that already, which I'm very grateful for and pleased that you guys are enjoying the tutorials. So let's get started. I have given you 2 sketches that you can use, and you are able to tailor the tutorial to kind of suit your level. But what I mean by that is, if you are a complete beginner and have never drawn or don't have any skill in drawing, but you just want to get started in it, you can. What you can do is you can just load up. If you hit the little wrench icon here and you add, uh, add, insert a photo, and load up the one with no grid lines on it, and it will be exactly the same size as your canvas because I've made the sketch the same size. And you can either trace over this, or you can just go ahead and color it in, start coloring it in, whichever you prefer. If you have some skill already, and I'm going to clear this layer out, what you can do is you can go to the wrench again, go to canvas, hit the reference, image, import an image, and you can import the one with grid lines on it. And then what that does, it's going to put it over here on the side, so you can kind of look at it and you can draw it over here. So if you want the one without grid lines, you can put it over here and you can kind of draw it out, look at it and draw it. Now the grid lines, I've set them up to be, I think it's 270 pixels. So what you can do is you can hit the wrench icon again, click drawing guide, edit your drawing guide. I usually put the opacity all the way up and the thickness all the way up, and then 270. And sometimes it's really difficult to get it right on there, so you can click on the number here and type in 270 and hit done. And now hit done again. Your grid lines is going to be just like it is on the sketch here. So that will help you to, I don't know if you've ever drawn with grid lines before, but it kind of tells you where to start, kind of helps you a little bit, guides you. So I'm just going to leave that on for right now, and let's, okay, we're going to do the sketch layer. I'm going to go ahead and rename that to sketch. Hit enter. We're going to start with black, and I've given you black, which if you want a true black, all you can do is go to classic here and then double click on the dark down here, and it's going to automatically select the darkest version of that. So there we got black, and the streamline inker is what I've given you to do the outlines, but we're not going to do outlines right now. We're going to do a sketch. And 6B pencil, that's comes with Procreate. If you go to the sketching section, which is right here, you can see the 6B pencil. So that just comes standard with your program. Now on the pencil, if you hold it at a diagonal here, it's going to kind of shade, and then if you hold it more vertical, it's going to more do of a line. Okay, so just keep in mind when you're doing your sketch. Alright, so let's get started on our sketch here. So we want the hat to come to about right here, the top of it. We want it to start about right here, I want it to finish over here, kind of close to the line. Maybe even with that. So now I've kind of got a guide as to and you can hold your pencil down. I cut it off too quick here, so I'm going to do this again. That's better. And then you can always hit edit here, and you can kind of bring that up to where you wanted it, and that's good. And again, this is just our sketch, so it's not going to be that big of a deal right now. Okay, let's get this buckle. So I'm going to come down on the size of this pencil to about 12. So we're going to start about here, and the top part's going to be real close to the line. There we go. And then the other one is maybe down here. Okay, good. Let's do our buckle. Be okay. Again, this is just a sketch, so feel free not to, you don't have to be perfect on it. Alright, good. Let's do an ear. So the ear is going to come through our, it's going to start at the hat, and then it's going to go up and come to about right there. So you can see about right there. And then top's going to come to about almost even with the hat. So maybe about right there. So now we kind of got a guide. So I'm going to start down here. And if you want to, you can hold it down to make a perfect oval. And then I can edit it. Make it a little bit fatter. That's good. Again, when we ink it in, we don't have to follow exactly the lines. And then this ear over here is going to be about here. Maybe that. And then you can see right here, if I want to match it just perfect, I can kind of move it over. Comes up about right there. Yeah, that's about good. Okay, and let's do the brim of the hat here. So we want to start maybe, see how far, so we're quite far over here. Maybe here, and we want to end maybe around here. And then it's going to come up and it's going to connect with the ears and the bottom of the hat there. So we can see our two dots here. And hold the pencil down to make a good arc. I think that's good. And if you want to, you can hit the erase tool and you can go in here and clean up this ears, but it don't really matter. We've got the buckle going through those lines, so we're going to fix all that later anyway. Okay. And maybe the other part there. I think that's good. And you can see I kind of tilted my pencil so it made it a little bit fatter line. If I didn't like that, I could just hit two fingers there, erase it, and do it again like that. Okay, and then this part is going to come down to about right here. It's good. I don't like that arc. That's a better arc. Okay, and this one's going to come to about right here. Why am I not drawing? Pencil on the sketch layer, black. What is happening? Okay, something's happened. We're going to maybe exit out of the, go back in. There we go. I don't know, sometimes it freaks out, I don't know why. Alright, so we are going to come to about right here, and then maybe like that. I don't like that. I don't like how it goes down and then comes back up. That's good. Okay, the hair is going to start about right here, and it's going to come to about, actually let's do that top part first. So it's going to stop about right here. So we're going to go, and then the hat right there, we can take that out if it bothers you. And then I'm going to connect back to about right here. Okay. Okay, let's get her face here. So that's kind of a more circle. I don't really want that circle. I want like a kind of a pear, bottom of a pear shape. So let me go here, out. Oops, I hit my camera again, I think. Stop that from shaking. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I think that one's better. So you can leave it there, or you can erase it, because again, like I said, when we go to ink it in, it's gonna be perfect. That's good. Okay, and let's do the jacket lapel here to here, down to there. Okay, and we're gonna have a t-shirt about right there. And the shoulder, let's connect that here to the lapel first. So that's gonna come about right there. And connect right there. We're gonna have the shoulder coming out of there. And right there. Okay, so we got that done. Let's do this right eye. I'm gonna kind of zoom in on that a little bit. Okay, and we want to do an oval, and I like that oval. And then this little line here, kind of take that around. Okay, we can do the eyeball. Hold our pen to make that a nice circle, and then the iris here. Okay, and I think that's a good eye. Now, I'm going to show you a trick. Instead of trying to match that eye, which for some people it's difficult, I know it is for me, you can hit the squiggly line here, make sure it's on freehand, make a selection around that eye, and then hit copy paste. So what that does is it copies the eye and it pastes it onto a new layer. So look at there. Now we have our sketch and we have an eyeball up there. So what we can do with that second copy of that eye is to select it and then flip it. Oops, I moved it. Let's put that back. if you see down here, my sketch is kind of in the way. Flip horizontally. That'll move it around. I'm going to put it back to about where it was at. And then if you want to make sure that it stays in the same place, you can turn on snapping and magnetics. And then when you slide it over, kind of keeps it on that same plane. And then about right, I'd say, let me see what that looks like. I think that's good. And what you can do is, if you want to, you can erase this part that's going to be hidden by the hair. And then we have an exact copy of that eye. Okay, nose. We can put these two together now. You can do it by pinching them together, like with two fingers, or you can click on it and then hit merge down. Both of them do the same thing. Okay, let's do our nose. The nose is right there. And do that again. Kind of want that kind of a triangle shape in a way. And then the mouth. Yep. Eyebrow. Okay. And we got everything? No, we don't. We haven't got this other layer inside the hat here. So we're going to start about here. We're going to come across about here. This side is going to come across about here. And then we're going to connect back to here. Maybe about here. So kind of give yourself some lines there you can kind of go by. And over, and you can go slow. And hold your pencil. And then we can edit it. So I wanted a wider gap there at the top. With that wider gap there. So this part right here. And that kind of wider, and then we can scrunch this bottom up. And yeah, I think that's good. Okay, and then we can clean up anything. If you do, again, this is your sketch. You don't have to clean it up if you don't want to. So I think that's our sketch done. What we're going to do now is, and I'm not going to do those inside of the ear things, and I'm going to tell you that, show you that why later on. But anyway, let's take care of our sketch here. Hit the N. Let's change that to multiply, which is going to make it darker. And let's take the opacity down to, we can barely see it there. So I got down to about 33%, whichever you like. And then we're going to make a new layer. Hit the plus. I'm going to drag it under our sketch. And this is where our inking is going to be, our line work. So we can go ahead and rename this to lines. Okay, make sure that's on black. Now we're going to change our pencil, which I'm going to give you, is going to be the Streamline Inker. The Streamline Inker has a weight to it, so the harder you push, the thicker the line gets. So light touch, hard touch, light touch. And that's going to give us or more of our cartoon effect. I'll take that down to about 5%. And what I like to do is the light's going to be coming in from our top left. So the lines that are facing the light's going to be thinner. And then as they go away from the light, it's going to get thicker. So you get that thin to thick effect on it. It makes your drawing look really nice. Okay, so let's get this top portion of this hat. So I'm going to do thin to thick. Hold it down. Get a good arc there. We want to edit it. I think that's good. Okay, done, and then we can erase this part down here. We can fix these up later on. Okay, let's do the buckle here. Oops. Had the other side off the screen. Hold it down, make an arc. And we can do our buckle here. Now I'm going to show you something. Let's make a new layer. Put the buckle on top of it. I'm going to show you why. So the inside. Now if we go back to the hat layer, we can erase these lines and not mess up our buckle. Because the buckle's on a new layer. And there we have it. Now let's put those back together. You can either pinch them together or you can click on it, hit merge down like we did before. Okay, let's get these ears done. So alright, I'm not sure that I want that holding the pencil down and making a perfect ear. You can do that. You can kind of edit it if you want. I don't want the ear touching the side of the canvas over there, so move that out. I think that's good. Leave it right there. So I didn't match the lines perfectly. You see the sketch under there, which is okay. Our sketch is just a guideline. Okay, and this one's going to start about here. And actually, I don't like that. Do that one again. Yep, I like that one. Okay, let's get this arc done. Hold the pen down to make a nice even arc. Okay, let's do this middle part here. Okay, it looks good. Around there. Around there. Let's fix this up here. It matches. Okay, and then this inside arc. If I want to edit it here, stretch it out a little bit. I think that's good. Maybe raise it. No, I don't want to go too high there. Maybe the bottom here. Scrunch it up. Yeah, I like that. Okay, let's do her hair. Alright, and here. Okay, let's get face. I think that's good. Maybe edit it a little bit here on the bottom. Yeah, I like that. And then we can straighten up this line here. Okay, looks good. Okay, let's get the eyes done. Yep. Good. And we'll do this one. Okay, looks good. Nose. I like it. And the eyebrow. Okay, let's do the lapel. Make sure these are connected. That's gonna be important when we go to coloring. And the shoulder. Make sure that shoulder, you gotta remember when you first start out here, it starts thin. So I'm gonna make sure those are connected good. Down here. And then t-shirt. Alright, I think our sketch is done. Or not our sketch, our line work. Let's turn off the sketch. We can kind of inspect it here to make sure everything is connected. See that right there? It's not connected. So that's gonna be important that we have all these connected when we go to color it in. That's good. That's fine. Right here. That's connected. And we got a little cleaning up to do here. Maybe erase. Oops, that's a little fatter than I thought. Come down a little bit. Okay. And then right here, clean that up. Make sure this. And I think that will do it. Okay. So now we got our sketch done. I'm going to get rid of the reference now. And what we're going to do is we're going to change these lines and set it to reference. And we're going to make a new layer, drag it under the lines. These are going to be our colors. I'm going to rename this to color. Okay, and then the palette I gave you, which you can download in the link below, and the bunny palette, we're going to start off with the red here. We're going to make her hat red, that part red, that part red, jacket, okay, I think that's good. Okay, next what we're going to do, look right here. You can see this didn't fill in very good, and also we got like a little tail on there. We don't want that there. So we can go ahead and just fill this in. That, and I want to go back to my line layer and erase this. Clean that up. I didn't catch that before. Okay, what color we got next? Let's do this light brown. That light brown is going to be hair color, eye color, eyebrow, and maybe this here too. You can do something there. I see a little white dot here. Make sure that's filled in. And you can see this red here. I think I'll show you what I'm not doing, which is causing this. Oops, you know what? Okay, here I made a mistake, so I put some color on the line layer. So I'm going to undo all of that until I see that brown go away on the line layer. So that's something that I do quite frequently, is I get on the wrong layer, which it happens to all of us. Drag, drop, continue filling. You can see that's kind of filling in now. So that's the color threshold. Okay, let's go make sure we're in our color. Let's get that brown again. And hair. Eye color. And eyebrow. Alright. Her t-shirt is going to be this kind of baby blue. Okay, and the black color here is going to be the belt on her hat. Her eyes. Okay, and this under part of the hat is going to be this darker brown I got here. I don't know which one's darker. I think that one's darker. That, not the first brown, but the second brown that I've given you. It's a little bit different. That on the underside, you can tell that's a little bit darker than her hair is. So it kind of separates it. This part of the hat here, I'm going to change that to red also, but I'm going to show you a trick. There's another way we can shade. And what you can do is, we're still on our color layer. If we hit the little squiggly line here, I'm sorry, I hit the magic one, squiggly line here, make sure it's on freehand, then we select this under portion of the hat. You can draw it, you can tap it, and it'll connect it. If you've got a really tight curve, it's hard to tap it like this. A little quicker. If your hand's steady, it's quicker to draw it. I might cut this out. Oh no. Hey, cut it off. But I'm going to show you, even though it cut this part off, I'm going to show you what you can do is if you hit the magic wand button, you go to use saturation, you can slide the brightness here to be darker, which will be just a darker hue of that red color right there. And then when we unselect it, you can see it makes it a little bit darker, and you see that part I missed out, but I can clean that up just by selecting that darker color and then going to the inker. We can just clean that up. So that's one way you can do it. If you watched the other videos, you saw that I did it, the shadows with black, and then I changed the opacity on it where it was really a lighter color of the black. You can do all of your shadows with just by selections like that too if you'd like. It don't really matter. Okay, so we need to color the rabbit with white, but it's going to be hard to tell whether it's colored or not because our background is white. So we want to go to the background color here, click on it, and let's just set it to something else. Maybe this baby blue. That's fine, it doesn't matter, as long as it's a different color. Done. Make sure we're on our color still. Change this to the white. Now we're going to color our bunny. So that color threshold is what I'm talking about. Keep your pen held down, slide it to the right until it colors everything, and then go back to the left just a little bit. That way you won't have those little gaps in there. And our eyes. And our neck. Okay. Okay, our nose, we need to get that pink. We also have our buckle here. The buckle color is this goldish. Well, there's that. And then the nose is going to be this pink color next to the red. That. And then also, the reason I didn't do that dark line on the inside here is because I didn't want that black line on the outline of the inside of the ears. I just want it pink only. So make sure we're on the right layer. We're going to go back to our streamliner pen again, and then just make a loop. And if you connect it, you should be able to... Oh, I know what we need to do. It's still set for reference, and that's not part of the reference because the reference is on the line layer, so we are still on the color layer. So what we need to do is take this, turn this reference off now. Go back to our color layer. Now we should be able to fill that in. See, here's what will happen if you don't set the color threshold right. You're going to have this outline, which we don't want. Slide it back till it goes away, and now you can see we don't have that line in there. Okay, let's do this one. And that way we don't have that dark line surrounding those ears like that, because that looks much better to me. Okay, it looks like we got all of our coloring done. Now let's do the shadows. So we're going to make a new layer on top of the color. And you can rename that to shade or shadow, whatever you like. And what we're going to do is we're going to change the black. And uh-oh, what happened to our ears? 3 fingers will go back again. That's not going to do it. Okay, that's fine. We can fix it. Go back to our color layer again. Hit the pink. Drag and drop it in there. Now we're back to where we were. Go back to the shade layer. Change it back to black. Streamline inker is fine. So our light's going to be coming in from the top left, so we're going to think about where the shadows are going to fall. So we know under the neck is going to be a shadow. So let's kind of make a arc the way her face is. We're going to connect this arc so we can fill it in. Threshold up so we don't have any gaps in there. Then what you can do is you can go into the shadow line, hit the N, take the opacity down, and now we have a shadow under the neck. Okay, so now everything that we draw on that shadow level is going to be, on that layer is going to be with the opacity down. So I think the hat is going to have a shadow on her face and hair and head here, so let's start maybe over here like that. I'm going to connect it. If you want to fill it in, you got to connect it like that. Drag and drop, and you can see it makes a really nice shadow. Okay, and then the right side of her face is probably going to be in shadow too. And under the eyelid, I think about right there. I'm going to kind of match this curve. Alright, and we will add all of this over here. Into the shadow. I don't know if I connected that. Okay, now it is. Okay. So we can kind of clean this up. So you see how the shadows don't really connect right there. I want those to be kind of a continuous line where it doesn't look kind of funny. That's good. I don't like the, see how it's kind of bumpy? I don't like that. Hold our pen down. Get a perfect arc. Kind of slide that up. We can fix this. And that looks much better. Okay. I'm going to fix this part right here. Maybe right there. That's fine. So the light's going to be coming over here, so the shadow's going to be on the top of the hat, starting about right here. Connect that, fix that part right here. Okay, that looks good. So if that's in the shadow, all of this is going to be over here in the shadow too. And remember, when you're trying to color this in with a streamliner, it's going to mess with you. So you might want to switch over to the inker instead. Okay, in the ear, the top portion is probably going to catch the light, but about right here, it's not. It's going to be in the shadow. I'll make a loop here, fill this in. Yep. Okay, what else will be in the shadow? Maybe maybe under the belt, or the the little buckle here. That might be casting a shadow. Okay, and maybe under the hair here. Clean that up. Okay, maybe under the lapel. Oh, this side of her body, we didn't get that. So I want to connect it to the neck and kind of do it like that. Make sure all that's connected. Yeah, as you can see how it kind of following the lines. It just kind of makes it cohesive. It makes kind of an arch there. Okay, I think that's about it for the shadows. You can go overboard with it if you want, if you like, if you think, well, maybe her under her eye is gonna be a little shadow, so you could add that in if you like. Just make sure it's kind of clean. Like that. If you think, oh, maybe the nose, you could do that too. Put a little shadow under the nose. So it's just up to you, whatever you think might need a shadow. Okay, let's do the highlights now. So we're going to do those on another layer. We're going to change it to white. Now, it's going to be impossible to put a white shadow on the white ear because it's not going to be seen at all. So kind of not going to do anything about that. But on top of the hat here, maybe that, and the brim here, that, and maybe on her shoulder. Lapel, a little bit. So, as I've said before, the shadows are always a lot more than the highlights are. And if we don't want that completely white, we can take the opacity down on it. Okay. And as I said before in the other tutorials, if you want to put some details on it, you go back to black again. I like to do those 3 little dots. So, make sure I'm on the right. What am I doing wrong here? Not on the right layer. So what I can do is I'll do these little 3 dots like that to kind of give it texture. But she's really clean. and neat, so I don't think I'm going to do that on this one. I think I'm going to just leave it just like it is. We can do some more to the eyes. Here's a little advanced technique we can do. Uh, let's choose that brown color of her eye. And then go to the color classic wheel here, and then let's go up on the lightness of it. Go to your airbrushing and pick maybe a soft airbrush. And we're going to make the bottoms of the eyes here. I'm going to put the opacity down to about 55. I'll give us a little wiggle room, and then the size about 10. And I'm going to kind of lightly touching, make the bottom of her eye a little bit lighter color. Take the size down a little bit. Okay, so just going to kind of give it some more detail, more effect in there. You can do this, you don't have to if you don't want to, but I think it makes it look a little bit nicer. And then let's go back to white again, and let's change our brush back to our Streamline Inker, and we're going to do some highlights in the eyes. A little bit bigger there we go. And then over here. And then zooming out, you can see it kind of gives a reflection in the eye. And I think that's going to do it. I think that looks pretty good. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on another one of the tutorials. We can change that back to background back to white again. And let's get rid of the grid lines so you can see. Turn off the drawings guide, and there it is. You can change that background to something else if you like. Maybe the baby blue again, I don't know. But there it is. I want to thank you guys for joining me on another one of the tutorials. I'd like to see your drawings if you have Instagram. Post them up on Instagram. Tag them with Chamel Does Art, the name of the YouTube channel, so I can take a look at them and comment on them. And other than that, thank you so much, and I will see you guys on the next tutorial.